Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So I saw this headline earlier today. It just jumped out at me how some wild and crazy vegan lobbyists have filed lawsuits to ban some tasty, delicious meats from being served in school lunches. Well, I dug a little deeper and turns out these wild vegan lobbyists are nothing other than the PCRM. That's the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, led up by none other than Doctor Neal Barnard. According to California's educational code, all foods served in California's public schools must be of high quality and the greatest nutritional value. While the PCRM is suing the LA Unified School District, which is the second largest in the country, and the Poway School District in San Diego over the fact that they serve food that contains known carcinogens. We're talking about processed meat. While trying to avoid having to go through this lawsuit, as I'll show you here, co-plaintiffs in this case and fellow vegans actually approached the Poway School District about this very important issue.
We first asked them to change the menu, notified them that the World Health Organization considers processed meats carcinogens.
I wonder if the school district actually gave this information any careful consideration.
According to the California Education Code, they say they should be serving the highest quality and greatest nutritional value possible foods to the kids, and they're serving them carcinogens. It just seems wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a vegan to see that this is wrong. Anyone with a rational mind, anyone who gives a darn about not serving kids carcinogenic foods should see there's a problem here. However, the American Association of Meat Processors sees it quite differently. They say processed meats make up a safe and nutritious part of a balanced diet. And that, get this guys, absolutely no scientific data to support removing them from school menus for being unhealthy. Well, strangely, it turns out this meat industry trade group has a YouTube page. So, of course, I checked it out, and their videos are pretty much nothing but videos about processed meats. I wonder if they have a conflict of interest here, claiming that processed meats are healthy and that there's absolutely no scientific data showing otherwise. Well, back to the PCRM's position, Dr. Neal Barnard says, scientifically, there's no argument here. Everybody knows we shouldn't be serving this food to children. So who's right? The meat trade group who says there's absolutely no scientific data whatsoever saying this stuff's bad or harmful, let alone carcinogenic, or Dr. Neal Barnard who says the scientific data is there, it's unarguable. Someone's lying. Well, let's fairly and objectively compare the evidence and see who's right. Well, the American Meat Processors Association, I looked at their claims and they actually provide no scientific footnotes, no studies whatsoever to base their claims. So for all I know, they're just making crap up. Well, let's look at the PCRM side of things. The primary piece of evidence that they're highlighting in their lawsuit is the World Health Organization's study published in 2015, which looked at over 800 scientific studies published on the subject matter, 800 studies. And remember, compare that to absolutely 0 studies put out by the American Association of Meat Processors, 800 versus 0. And these 800 studies clearly showed an increased risk of certain types of cancers when consuming processed meat. And it turns out it doesn't even take that much. Just consuming 1 hot dog or 2 strips of bacon per day increases one's chance of colorectal cancers by 18%. Well, I can hear a meat-loving skeptic saying, well, that might be fine and dandy, but those types of cancers, colon and rectal cancers, only happen to old people. It's not an issue for young people. Well, a new study put out by the National Cancer Institute shows that young people today, have a 2 to 4 times increased risk of colon and rectal cancers than those people born in the 1950s. So yes, this issue does affect young people. And according to a 2009 National Institute of Health study, those who consume the most processed meat also have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. So remember, California's educational code says food served in the cafeterias there must be high quality and the greatest nutritional value. So is it right? Is it against the nutritional code to serve food that has been shown to increase cardiovascular disease, which the PCRM isn't even talking about? They're just back to the World Health Organization's study, which clearly showed that those who eat processed meat have an increased risk of cancer. So what do I think of all this? Will the PCRM win this lawsuit? I sure hope so, but even if they don't, I think this is a good first step to open up a meaningful dialogue between health educators like the PCRM and our educational system, which is clearly receiving an F when it comes to high quality, greatest nutritional value food served in its cafeterias. But of course, I clearly hope that they win this lawsuit. I think it would be a great step to send a real message of what is indeed a healthy, nutritious food. So I want to open this up now to comments. What do you think about this lawsuit? Is it right, either legally or morally, to serve children who don't know any better, but the adults should? Is it right to serve children food that has been labeled as a Class 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization, let alone has been shown to increase your risk of death from cardiovascular disease? Is this right to do? Is it right for the PCRM to get these foods banned? You know where I stand, so I want to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. If you got some out of this video, if you like what I'm doing here, sharing with you what's going on in the news with veganism, hit like. Let me know you want to see more of these kinds of videos. And if you're new to our channel, hit the subscribe button for more from me and Angie here at Happy Healthy Vegan. So until next time, as I sure hope that they do in the schools, keep it carb, baby, keep it carb.
Round and round again, spinning till I'm dizzy.